What's up, Leo? This is your May. I'm making sure I counted right. May Homelight Security reading. And if you've never watched any of the videos before, check right down there, because depending on if you're a sun, oh, I put the wrong one up. So if you're a sun sign, if you're a sun, Leo, I'm talking about your core energy mainly. If you are a moon, Leo, I'm really getting into your emotional energy and your physical energy mainly. If your emotional and physical body. If you are a Virgo, not a Virgo. If you are a rising, I'm a Virgo rising. That's why. If you are a rising Leo, then I'm mainly talking about your manifestation and your emotional thinking from a three-dimensional world and what that's going to do to you here. Now, because normally I put that stuff right there, but I put the wrong one up. Anyway, Leo, May, Homelight Security. Here's the thing. I always give you what Spirit gives me, and then I give you some tarot, and then I give you what the astrology is for the month. Now, I always turn the music down when I do the video so that I can't hear it. And it's funny because of what I'm being given, and I could not turn that music down. The music goes, dun. I really feel like you're bouncing back and forth. And I'm a Leo, so this also pertains to me. I feel like you are very much bouncing back and forth as far as everything. As far as anything that's outer worldly, relationship worldly, emotionally worldly. Anything that's inside and outside of you in a form, like you're jumping back and forth. And there's some confusion going on here. You're jumping back and forth between three-dimensional, spiritual, three-dimensional, spiritual, three-dimensional, spiritual. Because I have a specific way that Spirit, it's like a register. And when they're telling me that it's more materialistic, it's on one side. And when it's more spiritual, it's on the other. And I kind of have it like smack dab in the center. So I feel like it's just bouncing back and forth. And it makes sense when I get into the astrology. They're saying, watch out for your pride and your stubbornness, your doubt over your path right now. Get your vibration up and stop the bullshit, period. Is pretty much what I'm getting. There is some frustration. There is some disappointment. There is some anger. There is definitely inflexibility. But what it really comes down to is trusting in your intuitive gifts, trusting into your psychic abilities, trusting into that gut feeling, and knowing that nobody is perfect and you have nothing to fear. So get yourself in that higher vibration. And even though you have to deal with the physical world, because you're looking at relationships, you're looking at, motivated action, your motivated action, your self-oriented action, getting yourself up and making yourself believe it and having confidence right now isn't a bad thing, but it's kind of like you're having to pull yourself, and then we're really confident, and then like way low is what I feel like. It's very much bouncing, and it goes with the energy. Is there anything else? For some of you, you're having some fear from powerlessness versus repressed energy. And this has to do with finding the truth in you and speaking it so that you can take action. And this has a lot to do with holding on to the heavy. When you're holding on to the heavy, the weighed down feeling, you're holding on to too much three-dimensional stuff. You're holding on to the attachments, the grief, the sorrow, the shame, the blame, the insecurity, the pride that just weighs you down. It also makes you start looking at the world and your perspective on a lot lower level. It forces you to have grief, and then it lowers your spiritual communication. So what they're saying is stop it. You need to get more with your inner kid. You're more with your deeper reasoning for being, your spirit, your soul connection, trusting in it and overcoming the insecurities and the doubt over the path. I will tell you, when I get into the astrology, I feel like, and I've been telling everybody this through all of them, I'm feeling like the energy has been very big, very full. But what it really has been isn't necessarily movement, just full of energy. And what I feel like it's magnetic static. You know how like you get static, you get shocked by things? I feel like it's just in the energy, static, but it's not really moving. And with Jupiter just moving into Aries, I feel like the static and the Jupiter just moving into Aries, Mercury just going retrograde, the eclipse about to happen, I feel like the static is building, but that it's not really going to flush out and start really moving until the end of the month. And this is why it's important for you to get out of this frustration, this irritation that's kind of like underneath the skin, and allow your inner lion, some sunbathing, so to speak, some pampering, some love, some you time. Because it's needed, it's necessary for you to get back on your inner creative, your inner spiritual, and to release the heavy. Release the coulda. This is me going supernatural highway from the heart to the head and across the shoulders of the neck. I coulda, shoulda, woulda, and holding on to that stuff, because that will make you crazy. What is done is done. They're also saying, stop with the bitterness and the blame. For whoever all that's for. Anything else? Stop with the personal judgment for whoever that's for. Or the disappointment of the self, or even the people around you. You're a lion. Just pick it up and move on, honey, is what I'm getting. Do your roar and move on. Anything else? Anything else? They gave me like a meow. Okay, I know what it is. I get it. I don't have the cup in here right now. They're giving me the cheetah, which is the vibration of the tree of life and going up and down the tree of life, which is ultimately shifting your DNA according to your vibration. And when your vibration is higher, your DNA is higher. And they're saying for you right now, yeah, it needs to be about self, period. Doesn't mean for it to be negative, because we are having Mercury retrograde and you don't want to be in your mind chatter in a bad way, but it is about self-belief, self-worth, self-value, self-love, self-pampering. You need that self-time to get back to right, or to get you back on top as the ruler that you are. All right. It's funny. The only deck that seems to want to talk, at least today, is this one. My talk deck. What does Leos need to hear? Or what do Leos need to hear? Okay, I got the cards wrong. Sorry. What do Leos need to hear for the month of May? I pulled lust, but what I'm thinking, what I was feeling was I was doing this is you need to get out in the sun. You need to get out in the sun. You need to, it's like I said, the lion needs to lay out in the sun. This is giving yourself some of that desire, giving yourself acceptance for some of that desire, some of that fire, some of that, hidden within energy, some of your inner creativeness. This is also your inner justice. But this is also when I get into, because I always do them with a little bit of Hebrew mixed in, but I'm not going to bother getting into it all. But this is, in the belly of the wound as well, in Hebrew. I'm not going to get into it, all of it, which the smallest part. This is saying, this is growing your inner light, growing it. Just like I tell people all the time, and this has come up a lot during this, is, like I said, you're not going to have full movement yet. When a baby isn't born, the baby's still in the belly. The baby is still being prepared. It's not fully developed. So this is developing your light. This is strengthening your light. And I really feel like it's your warmth, your sun, allowing that shine to come through and take you from the materialistic world into heart space and illuminate it. So this is, do what you have to do to give yourself that time. And then taste the fruits of your nature is what I just heard. So I think that's pretty good. Let's see what else they have to say. Okay, I'm confused. Which one was it? It's both. You have the Golden Dawn came out. This is what you eat in your energy is what you consume in your energy. And I don't mean it just diet. I say this all the time when I do astrology, the people, places, and things, your daily mundane tasks and what you are a part of, and the repetitive all the time is some of the biggest part of what's manifesting. Whether it's your food and your diet or your people, places, and things of energies, it's a diet of energy that you are consuming. And what you consume is what you become. It also is what consumes you. It is the Golden Dawn. It is saying have the resurrection. Allow the new consumption of the new sun, the new light, the new you to come into power. It's also speaking of the eternal flame. Like I said, I don't read my cards the way everybody else does. I put a lot of Hebrew behind them. I just don't explain the Hebrew. I just tell you what I get from it. This is the judgment of the eternal change. This is the shift you've been waiting for, but don't try to push it so fast. Like I said, it's also in the womb, the lust, learning how to create those fruits of that nature and bring it forward, because after that comes the lovers. And this could be somebody coming back into your life. It could be somebody new coming into your life. It could be you coming into your life. It is it is the scepter, according to Hebrew, the scepter of the higher self itself. It is the rectifying energy of the scepter coming back into the life. It's the woman of valor coming forward of you. So I feel like this is more of something or some people, yes, might be coming into your life that are going to help continue to illuminate you, be new people, new peers, new tribe. Yes, it's possible, but I feel like what's really bringing it is you coming into a new higher self, a new part of your higher self, bringing it forward. So this feels like it's a very good thing. Is there anything else? I'm having trouble holding the cards this morning. Anything else here for Leo? The Ace of Swords, cutting through all of the bullshit and moving forward. So this is very much good. I just feel like you do need to realize it's still going to take some time. Still going to take some time. I feel like you're feeling the changes, but allow the changes to take place. It is very much a spiritual movement, a spiritual action that you are going through, but it is definitely about how you feel about yourself, how you communicate with yourself as to how well it's really going to be. If you're doing it the right way, you're coming into your higher vibrations, it's going to be glorious. Now, Spirit also says, I'm not disagreeing with Spirit. I'm never disagreeing with Spirit, but I also know what the astrology says and what I'm about to tell you. Spirit is saying, you know, your humanitarian interests, you're humanitarian and doing things for others and stuff, and it's going to make you feel good. It's definitely going to build your prestige. It's going to help make you be seen the way you want to be seen, and that is a good thing. But I will say this, and I think, because like I said, a part of it is you need to feel good about you. So doing those things are good. And of course, is always a high vibrational positive thing. But watch how much. And what I mean by that is just don't go overboard to where you're sacrificing yourself for yourself. And the reason I say that way is because of your 12th house energy. And here in a minute, when we get into the astrology, you'll understand why I'm saying it. But I tell people all the time, it's always good to be a good person. It's always good to, you know, be kind and to be helpful and to be loving and supportive and to speak that way to people, you know, and be able to give that love. Sometimes yes, from your heart, but I mean to be actually say it and stuff. And that is definitely a good thing of making sure you're doing it, not just to be seen for it though, but as well as make sure that you're not doing it so much that it's actually starting to harm you. You have to give yourself that love as well. So doing it to feel good and helping you help others is helping you, great. But when it's starting to actually go against you because you're doing too much or you don't have it to give at that time, sometimes you just don't have the energy to give it at that time. And ultimately, when you don't have that right form of energy to give, it may not be the right time to give. So I'm saying give as much as you can, but not when it's a form of I love you, but then I don't love me. So just make sure you're watching that. Okay, for the month of May, Mercury has already gone into retrograde. It is in Gemini, however, it will not stay in Gemini. It will go back to Taurus. Jupiter has already moved into Aries. But like I said, I don't feel like it's moving forward yet. I do feel like Jupiter moving into Aries is just bringing more of that static electricity. Because Jupiter in Aries, you know, brings bright ideas, brings boosts of energy, brings boosts of knowledge and wanting to do and go. But yet at the same time, Aries is kind of like, well, if it didn't happen right now, well, then forget it. And I'll do this instead. And if it didn't happen right now, well, then forget it. And then I'll do this instead. So it doesn't follow through. So this is saying that energy is building, but I feel like it's just building. All right. You have the eclipse that is taking place on the 16th in Scorpio. You have on the 20th, the sun moves into Gemini. On the 22nd, Mercury moves back into Taurus. But on the 24th, Mars leaves Pisces and Mars moves into Aries. Now, Mars's ruling planet is Aries. So I feel like on the 24th, around this time, is when you're going to feel that stagnant energy start to clear and some super fast movement. Let's do it. Let's go. Let's now. And within a few days after that, you also have Venus moving into Taurus. So you have your masculine and your feminine. Your masculine and your feminine, your passion, action, aggression, your sensitivity, all of that are going into their ruling houses. For real movement to go forward, I feel like the illumination of the eclipse is definitely bringing positive energy, gonna break through a lot of shit, gonna start to reset the next 6 months, but I don't feel like the movement's gonna start taking place till close to the end of the month when it's gonna. I'm just giving you that right now. Now, I always do the astrology according to where the sun is at. Because wherever the sun is at the moment is the house that you're technically walking through. And right now it is in Taurus. For you, this is your 10th house. But it's about to move into your 11th house. Now hear me out. Your 10th house with the sun is about to move into your 11th house. the sun moves on the 20th. So you're getting close to the end of that 10th house and into the 11th. But Mercury is in the 11th house. And on the 24th, it's going to retrograde back into the 10th house. So you have the sun and Mercury, which are going to do this. So that's going to stir up some energy when that happens. Okay. Right there around the 20th to 24th. They're going to really start stirring up energy. But this is speaking about your outer world. Your 10th house is the outer world and its authority. It's your honor, your reputation, your prestige, your career. It's your ability to work. It is your professional world, but it's also the authority that takes place in the professional world outside of you. You have Uranus here. Uranus isn't the most powerful, but it's still going to be here for the most. I mean, it's not its most powerful here. You have the North Node here, which is strengthening it. The North Node is saying everything you need to learn in order to move forward. And this is saying in that outer world is trying to teach you how to be your own personal authority. It's trying to teach you how to come into your individuality, your uniqueness, your freedom. Show the world why they should know you. Long story short, and then bring that into the outer world and where you can start to create your own personal authority as you show the outer world your power. This is what it's trying to show you. The sun is illuminating whether you're doing it well or not, and what needs to be worked out or not at this time. But then it's going to move into the 11th house. The 11th house, where Mercury is right now, happens to be in retrograde, okay? And this is the groups, the memberships, your peers of the outer world, like your work friends. And this is where your goals, dreams, and ambitions are either brought to fruition and accomplished or not, according to how much you're spreading your energy. Are you spreading it so much outwardly with everybody else's goals, dreams, and ambitions and helping them? Or are you making time for yours as well? Balance. And like I said, Mercury in retrograde is also judging you as well as judging the outer world. And nobody else hears the conversations going on in your head, especially right now with Mercury in retrograde, about those relationships, about those memberships, those committees, those groups, and how well are they doing on these goals, dreams, ambitions? Is it supporting you? Is it not? Is it helpful? And like I said, and then it's going to go back into the actual prestige, honor, reputation, authority of the outer world, finances of the outer world. So this is, make sure you're not in your head in a negative way. And make sure that you're also, not tucking yourself into bad ideas. Don't over chatter to where you're chattering false truths to yourself because of Mercury retrograde, as well as don't chatter yourself down in a low vibration and give away too much of yourself. Very important right now for your outer authority to start to come into its power because of what's going on with the retrograde and the shift of the illumination of the sun and Mercury as they shift back and forth. Now, try to pull it up because I do everything on my phone. Here's why I was saying one of the reasons why you want to pay attention to this inner chatter even more. You have Lilith now in your 12th house. The 12th house is our self-deception, our self-undoing, our self-sabotage, our self-sacrifice. And Spirit said to me at the start of this, watch the self-sacrifice. Sacrifice, when it's a good thing, isn't anything that's hard to do. Because when it's something that's really meant to be done, it's not a sacrifice. It's something that you would freely do from your heart. However, if you're trying to do from your heart instead of actually doing it from your heart, that's different. Your 12th house is where your grief, sorrow, shame, blame, insecurities, fear, guilt, anxiety, denial all hide. Your 12th house is where you sweep everything underneath the carpet and then hope nobody sees it. Even though it's right there for the whole world to see, you don't even want to see it. So this is touching base on insecurities that we're in denial of. And then we place Lilith in the 12th house. The 12th house is Cancer. On a normal, universal level, Cancer is very nesting. It's nurturing and mothering. So it's looking out for others. So your 12th house automatically looks out for others. It nurtures taking care of others, not necessarily yourself. But here's the thing. With Lilith here, Lilith isn't very strong in Cancer. Lilith is more submissive here. Lilith is more liable to give even more of herself than usual. In a form, I usually say Lilith, can support you in a good way and help you to build your fire and find out what your fire is for. But here, she's going to fuel the denial of loving others more than you love yourself. She's going to fuel the denial and the insecurity of actually loving yourself and doing what is good for you. She's going to fuel the grief, sorrow, shame, blame, and insecurities and telling you that you're doing something wrong by being in your head, caring about you more. Because she's submissive in Cancer. So it's important for you right now to be in your power. It's important for you to be in that independence, to seek that healing, to find that loving energy and support yourself with it, and support overcoming your insecurities of your own denials. It's highly important right now. And I'm not sure how long Lilith is here. This is something that you Leos need to hear, because this is something that you can overcome if you acknowledge that you're doing it and you stop it. And then you stop giving away your power because of your big heart. But ultimately, it became self-sabotage. You get what I'm saying? It's a good thing to love people, but right now with Lilith here, this is the time to watch that. You don't want to give so much that you give yourself away. Now, your eclipse is taking place in your 4th house, which is Scorpio. This is your inner emotional security. Your 12th house has Lilith in it, being more submissive. Your 4th house, which is your inner emotional security, your root, it's the vessel, the soul, the security of the soul, and knowing it, committing to it, communicating with it, touching base with its sacredness, the roots of it, embracing it, harnessing it, or overcoming the inner emotional security. This is where your eclipse is taking place. This is teaching you a big, valuable lesson about self-love, as well as outward love, but self-love, and actually finding confidence and security within yourself from the inside out. And the thing is, the South Node is here with the eclipse. The South Node's everything you're really good at, but it's not good for you. Plus, Scorpio is all about transformation. So this is also a little bit of a trickster energy, because it's giving you a little bit of desire, a little bit of cravings that make you feel secure, but they're false security. A perfect example, when a girlfriend calls chocolate, she calls chocolate, having a little candy bar of chocolate or a little Dove piece of chocolate. She's like, it's the food of the gods. It makes you feel like you're in heaven. It makes you feel, ecstasy, desire, and cravings. Are you getting just moments of ecstasy, moments of craving, moments that make you feel secure, but they're false security because it's not really real. It's just like, you know, what they call it, the endorphins in your head or whatever, when they go off, you know, and you're getting that oomph of feeling good, but then it goes away. You don't want false security. You don't want false ecstasy. You want to create the real one so that it's with you all the time. So don't get jacked up with the false idea of, I feel my power, I feel good, I'm in my shine, I'm illuminating. But wait a minute, that only lasted a minute. This is truly building the security back, the love back, the light back, bringing it back, but noticing when you're getting caught up on the false and the fake, so that you wash that away and you stop doing it. That's what this eclipse is about for you right now. And that'll shift your next 6 months of your manifestation right there by starting coming to that power and believing in it. Now, as you go into your 6th house, has had Pluto here forever. Death, decay, and destruction for renewal, rebirth, regeneration, which is, again, we're getting right back into people, places, and things of energies that you consume. We're getting right back into the where you're giving your energy. Where are you lending your energy? What are you consuming? What are you giving your time to? Because that is the mundane daily task that manipulate the energy that makes the manifestation. It is the energy of the, you know, the quick moving, repetitive that you overlook. The mundane is considered mundane because it's repetitive. You forget about it. But it's what you do every day. It is the manifestation of the vibration you are already in. So if it's a vibration that's not good, your people, places, and things, then it's time to shift them. You only have another year of this, of it trying to help you get on that higher vibration to help you. As you move into Saturn, your 7th house, same thing, rules, laws, and boundaries, making sure that these relationships are healthy and that we're setting them up properly so that we can manifest, we can have healthy relationships, we can bring to our life what we desire. And your 8th house right now is kind of like Lilith. You've got Mars here in Neptune with Pisces, or Mars, Neptune, and Pisces. This is your 8th house. This is your transformational energy of the relationship. This is your fertility of the relationship. This is the life span, the life force of the relationship. And Neptune's been here for a long time, so there's nothing really anything any different. What is here is Mars. Everybody else has moved through here all month. Last month and the month of Mars, I mean, you just had Mercury come through, you just had Jupiter come through, you just had Venus come through, but the only one that's really left right now is Mars. And Mars is kind of like a dud in the water. He's like, I can't really do anything until, you know, and so that means he's not taking the best action in setting those rules, laws, and boundaries. He's slow moving on it. He's still, Pisces energy is very dreamy and hoping people will be better people than what they typically are. And that's why Pisces are known for bringing home the stray dogs. But you don't want to be bringing people into your relationships or setting boundaries with people who are going to manipulate you, take advantage of you, rob you blind, all because you'd hope that they were better. This is the time to open your eyes. This is the time to wake up and believe in yourself. Mars, however, on the 24th, like I said, is about to move out of Pisces and go into Aries, a beginning energy, but it's also going into your spiritual house. And this is your psychic house. This is your higher learning house. This is your ethics and morals house. This is your soul house, your deeper reasoning for spirit house, Aries. And this is saying, stop half-assing it. Stop going, I'm going to do this, but then I don't finish. I'm going to do this, but then I don't finish. Jupiter is here now. Jupiter's here coming up with all these bright ideas, lifting all of that manifestation, lifting all of that stagnant electricity energy. But it's not moving. When Mars moves in, it's going to be time to start taking action and follow through with it. It's going to be time to slay the day and show just the lion, honey, that you are. I love you guys. Bye.